What's up everyone, my name is Mike and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about entitlement on the platform, the things that I've been seeing online talked about VeVe, and everything that I think. This is more of an opinion piece, so strap in and let's get into this. So more and more that I look online and people talking, whether it's on Facebook, Reddit, or wherever you can talk about VeVe, I see more and more people talking about the negativity around VeVe. One, not being able to get drops. Two, the prices of these collectibles going down, down. And three, quite specifically, the bots that seem to be on VeVe and seem to be controlling VeVe. And I just want to talk about these a little bit more openly. My thoughts about this, my thoughts about the opinions that people have been sharing about all of this. Now, I think it's important for me to set some context a little bit. I am only on VeVe for about 4 months so far. I have only gotten maybe 4 drops. 2 of those are comics, 2 of those are collectibles. I haven't been super successful on VeVe. I really enjoy the space and I really enjoy going for the drops. It doesn't take much time out of my day. And I also like seeing the market and how the market's moving. So it is something that really interests me, but it's not something that's taken control of my life. It's not something that I dedicate hours upon hours every day to. It's maybe about an hour that I dedicate to learning more about VeVe, learning more about the space each and every day. And then I take about an hour to an hour and a half editing and talking to you on this YouTube channel. So that's about my full extent of VeVe and what I'm trying to learn more about VeVe. Now, I started in November with those golden moments drop, the Iron Man being the first one that I went for, and I got the Iron Man. That's when I sort of dipped my toe into VeVe. And it wasn't until about a month after that I revisited VeVe. I didn't actually go for many drops after the Mickey Mouse partner statue golden moment. And I just left about 240 gems just sitting there for about a month until I revisited the space and learned as much as I could about the space, including learning about Ecomi and learning about the Omi token. And reading the white paper was incredibly important to me to do. There's not much in there to it. There's not much meat to it, but just to see the vision that they have moving forward with this. I learned about VeVe's plan, their vision, and their misfires too, what they've missed and the announcements that they've made, for example, with MTL and just not following through with it up until recently as they've got that rolling out. But the reasons for why they might be missing out on it, the reasons behind their percentage points that they offer to not only their licensors, but to VeVe that they take with every aftermarket sell, and as well as that 10% that they charge for the MTL cash out on top of that. All of this has a purpose behind it, and it's not for VeVe to make a boatload of money. It's a business at the end of the day, and you need to identify that, especially with their cost of doing business and what they've been doing for this. I think about that 6% licensor fee that Disney, Marvel takes on top of everything in the aftermarket. I think that's a good idea in the long term. I think that's a good percentage point to put on it because it's not too high and it's not too low. I think 8.5% total with that 2.5% on top of VeVe taking theirs. I think that's on the verge of being too high, but if I think about it, I think, well, what if Marvel was to go hop to another brand, another company that does the same thing as VeVe? They would have to have some sort of monetary gain in that. And if that company offered more than 6%, to have Marvel jump on over, that might be appealing to Marvel, but it won't be so appealing to the users of that platform. 6% is borderline high, and say they increase that to 8%. And then on top of that, that other company's own percentage that they take for themselves, you're getting close to more than 10% possibly for that, as opposed to VeVe's 8.5%. You're getting to the point where, sure, maybe one of these brands hop on over, but will the users be happy with that large percentage that they'd be paying when compared to somebody like VeVe? VeVe's already got this infrastructure set up. They've already got the systems in place, and they are already giving a pretty good percentage to these brands. And I'm happy that they've got these brands that are willing to keep them moving forward with the platform. So percentage-wise, I'm not too concerned about that aftermarket percentage. percentage. MTL is another thing, and I honestly don't think in the long term we'll see a 10% amount, especially when perhaps VeVe moves to a web-based platform, because they have to factor in that large percentage hit that they take on Apple and Google Play. When we purchase gems into the system, they lose out on quite a bit there. So I'm sure it's a long-term strategy that they've got in place to possibly bring that down in the long term. But for now, that kind of makes sense to me, even though I'm not happy with a 10% withdrawal rate. Now, the next thing I see are market dips and people complaining about the market dipping. If you're complaining about this, you are in for a treat when you get into actual investing and going through recessions and what we're experiencing right now in the real world with gas prices fluctuating. You really just haven't been exposed to such a volatile market like crypto or like the NFT space. If you're complaining about this dip, just hold on. Don't sell for what you actually purchased for or below that. Sure, you may have purchased at a really high point, and this isn't financial advice at all. This is just my thoughts and what I'm doing in the space, but you might be better just to hold off for the longer term with those collectibles and purchase the dip if possible. Now, I don't know your financial situation, but if you're having to sell to get out of the platform for that money, you probably shouldn't have put that money in the first place. So that's your own mistake, not the mistake of the market. The market is the market. You can't complain about the market. You can only complain about your own actions. Take accountability for that. The next one is bots, and bots are a problem in the online space in general. This is not a VeVe problem. This is the online space that we need to go through, and this is a growing pain. So there's not much more I can really say about bots other than that there's always going to be bots, and you can still get drops even though that there is bots, and VeVe has put forward a good effort to get rid of bots. And that's going to come with growing pains in and of itself as they ban people that probably should not have banned. But at the same time, they're banning bots too. So they're making a step forward with every move that they're making. Just stick with them. If you believe in the platform, if you believe in it, stick with them for the long term. Or do your research and decide whether or not you think VeVe is a long-term play for you. And finally, drops. I see a lot of people complaining that they're not getting drops. And when you think about the edition sizes and the amount of people going for these drops, it makes sense that you're not getting drops consistently. Stop complaining whether that you are getting drops or not. The low edition sizes is what makes these collectibles valuable. If you want drops consistently, you'll have to see those edition amounts increase drastically, and then you'll be complaining that you're listing your collectible in the market and it's selling for less than what you actually purchased it for in that blind box or in that drop. So no matter what, if you're complaining about not getting drops, the alternative is that you're complaining that the collectible that you got is being listed in the market for less than what you purchased it for. So if you're complaining about any of this, it's time for you to find a different platform that you may be better served with. And to be honest, I don't think that platform exists at this current point in time. That's why I'm with VeVe. Whatever it is, you need to think longer and harder about these things and about what you are complaining about, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. If you're complaining about this, you'll be complaining about this when that is solved. So don't always think that what you're complaining about is the right thing to complain about. Think about it, think about the solution, and think about what that solution brings to that problem and if you'd be happier with that solution in place. Ultimately, you need to do your own research. You need to think about the space and whether it's a long-term play for you. If you were in it to make a quick buck, it's probably the wrong play for the short term right now, especially with the market dips that we're going through. Do your research, make a decision, and decide whether or not this is a long-term play for you, and then put any money in that you feel you're totally okay with going to zero, because we just don't know how this space will evolve in the near future. Don't over leverage yourself. Be careful and be safe with your money, especially if it's money that you need. These are just my thoughts about various negative things I've been seeing online in the VeVe space and what people are complaining about and people are getting out. Ultimately, I think it's good for the platform that these people are getting out when they want to get out. When they see the platform evolve and grow, they'll be the ones that actually want to get back in, and those losses will be locked up forever when they sell As this platform grows, because it's such a low barrier to entry for people to get into the NFT space compared to all other platforms, it's easy for people to get in, and that means that we are getting a wide variety of collectors on the platform. Some good, some not so good. And those not so good ones are the ones that are pulling the trigger, taking losses, and getting off the platform now as they can. But as the platform grows, I'm sure we'll see some of them come back as well. It's an extremely young space and it's continually growing, and I'm excited about the future of VeVe. I just wanted to get all this stuff off my chest in this video to you. If you found I said something that you totally disagree with or you agree with, leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to open a dialogue about this and what I've said in this video. Totally open to anything that you say. Whether you agree or disagree with me, I am incredibly open and I'll respond to anybody and everybody that leaves a comment below. Like this video if you enjoyed anything that I said here. If you found it helpful at all, I would really appreciate a like, as well as a subscribe to my YouTube channel for more VeVe content. Thank you so much for watching.